managing partner of Accrual Equity Partners. That's a new title for the former CEO of Toyota, Jack Hollis. Jack, welcome to the show.
There he is.
Hey, Sam, Yost, it's good to be with you.
Jack, welcome, man. This is quite the announcement. You came on the podcast just about maybe a month or two ago. Rockstar, I mean, incredible episode, did crazy numbers. Everyone wanted to know your story. Everyone wanted to know why you left. I thought we leaned into it really nicely with the whole segment and the lightning round.
Yeah.
But let's just start with you. I mean, how have you been? Since you exited Toyota after 33 years, you are at the COO position. You're really at the helm in the US. How have you been personally?
Personally, been probably better than ever. Let me just tell you, after 33 years of a great time at Toyota and Lexus, having a 6 month hiatus has been it's been pretty good. It's been spending some time in some great places and getting back in the proper shape. And that's always good. And getting to spend a lot of time with my family. And that's for me. That's that plus the passions around doing some of the global ministry work that I get to do. That's been about as, and it's been great.
That's awesome. Now tell us a little bit about your search here, and you landed here with a new firm. You're going to be working in private equity. I remember you mentioning on the last podcast. You said,
Yeah,
I'm looking at several different opportunities. Some are
yeah,
more entrepreneurial, some are less. It looks
yeah,
like you went the more entrepreneurial route as a managing partner in a private equity firm. Can you tell us a little bit about that process, that decision making process that you went
yeah,
through?
yeah. Actually, lots of words come up. Humbled by the opportunities, thankful for the opportunities, a challenge, frustrating at sometimes, exciting at others. I think over the time of looking at it, I think 33 years in the corporate America was probably enough. I think that there's things about it that I loved. There's also things about it that I didn't love. I think going down this entrepreneurial path allowed me to kind of focus in and look at different options. And Accrual Equity Partners and my partners being Brady Schmidt and Jacob Tills are two guys that they literally called me the first day the retirement was announced. And they had the coolest sales approach. They said, "Hey, we want you to know we're here. And if sometime within the next year you'd like to have a conversation about something, let's do it." And I honestly believe that from the beginning, the kind of the values driven um, mindset that they have, this also idea about growth and how we take care of others. I love what Aaron just said. I wrote it down about that idea about giving back. These guys are based upon giving back as part of their work. I mean, we could talk about that in a little bit, but
What do you mean by that, Jack? What does that mean when you say giving back as part of their work? What does that mean?
they're, yeah. Um, for example, this organization, we have our own food bank. We sponsored a food bank, the first food bank in Hawaii. So part of the mindset of as we are working with different groups is to actually go into that community and be able to assist. Many of you know the company out of Houston, Petra. Petra has it's just um, uh, an initiative called Petra Cares. And we are driving that through our business to helping those who are aging out of the foster care system. These are examples of what is giving back, but it's not giving back after you make profits. It's giving back as you're making profits, as you're doing business. And these are the kinds of things that from an entrepreneur standpoint, it impressed me because there's a lot of times private equity has kind of a stigma of, you come in and you just put some money in, you buy something and you pretty it up and you sell it. Well, what if you did that? But what if you actually helped each person who's involved in the chain? And what if you gave back as with that group of people to your community? That to me is what really drove me. And this kind of meets all my needs and desires of helping people, serving people, giving back. Um, and again, very values driven, which creates a lot of freedom to do what I think is best for each person.
And what are you going to be investing in, right? Because we did briefly chat before this, and you had mentioned that this is still pretty automotive centric, which of course would make sense to maximize, all your knowledge and everything you've done for the last, 3 decades plus. So, what type of businesses are you looking for?
Well, without giving names to everything yet, because we are in a very good momentum right now, but to share will be, um, think about, okay, so One of the drivers is I get to stay in and around it to start in the automotive space, body shops, car washes, repair centers, some dealerships, brokerage business. You probably are aware of NBB, National Business Brokers, NBB. Get to be a part of them, and all of these, plus a couple other entrees that we are working through right now. And what's really fun is they're all vertically integrated. They're all helping one another. We have a fluids distribution company, and these different pieces that actually fit together. Ultimately, it's
Mm.
this. And Yossi, I think that what we talked about last time applies today. I'm driven by serving people. This allows me to serve dealers, serve customers. And that's what's been my passion since I've been in this industry is how do you best give customers the best experience, both short, mid, long-term relationships? How do we help dealers be the most successful they can be? And how do we help the communities that both are working in? So whether it's a body shop business or helping a dealer sell and buy dealerships, we're helping the community and helping people. And I think this is a win, probably three wins, win, win, win.
This is incredible. So, Jack, another thing you mentioned to me was that this is primarily family office capital. And
Yeah.
for those that are not aware of the distinction, right, you have institutional capital, family office. These are just different types of capital that have
Yeah.
different return profiles, different needs, different time horizons. I thought that was interesting as well because, when I looked at the age of the fund, it looked like it was pretty new, but it
Yeah.
looks like it has its hands in many different pots. So how do they do this? Right? Like, would
Yeah.
love to know like the history a little bit here of how they came to be so involved in automotive. I did notice that one of the managing partners is a dealer, so there's that connection. But what's the a little bit of a history here?
Yeah. First of all, I'm learning it as I'm answering your question. So just so you know, I'm building up the history behind it. But here's what I would tell you: you have two gentlemen, my partners, both have spent their entire careers in the automotive space. Both have been successful in the automotive space. So it was very easy to just kind of listen to them where they want to go. The idea of right now being more self-funded, and we're never saying never to institutional capital, but it's close to never. It's because we really want to have that control over things like giving back or helping the customers and staying at maximum flexibility. And I am learning through the studies of now hundreds already of different private equity groups. The way to stand out is to put people before performance and people before profits. And we've talked about this before, Yossi. You know my belief. People must come first. The people within inside of AEP, and I'm talking about outstanding individuals, most of them spending most of their careers in automotive, M&A, banking, investors. This to me has this collection of excellent, I mean, experts. So keeping it self-funded and being really flexible allows maximum opportunity to pay attention to the customer. And that's what we want. The history behind this is two other individuals who took their multiple companies and brought them together. Again, like a family office, taking family wealth, bringing it together. How do we actually, 1 + 1 equaling 3? And then somehow they were silly enough to add me along the way.
All right, so my this is my favorite question, and it is you're entering a super competitive
Yeah,
space, right?
yeah,
Private
yeah,
equity has been
yeah,
chasing or I mean, if you just see the amount of emails I get for private equities that wants, consulting or something about buying dealerships,
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, get in line, like you and every other private equity firm.
yeah.
What edge do you think you're gonna have? Obviously, we know your experience and we know your knowledge and relationships. Is there something we don't see? Or like what is gonna be your edge now to do these deals? Do you just believe there's opportunity there given your relationships, which is very obviously a very important part of this entire equation? But I'm curious how you sort of like you underwrote the opportunity, right? What is the big edge that you bring to the table into this private equity firm?
Wow. First of all, I want to stand in line first for teaming up with Yossi in private equity. So if you're looking for somebody, I'm your man. So
The
let me
deal
know
is
Wait, well,
here.
that.
It
let me just be
sounds.
clear. Let me just be clear. They don't have a lick of experience in automotive. They don't even know a dealer. No, some I'm sure do. But the point I was trying to make is that
Yeah.
they are not you with your
No.
background. These are like
No.
offshore firms that are trying to get into the U.S. That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. So
I know, and I am serious. I always anything I could do to team up with you would be great. I would tell you this. I'm not here to try to tell you that I, Jack Hollis, can do any of this. I'm not telling you that what I bring to this company makes us better, worse, whatever. I don't really I don't feel comfortable in that position, and I super just appreciate the opportunity to work with Jacob and Brady, two men that I really enjoy. Like they're become brothers instantaneously. We share the same values and same thinking and same faith, and it's awesome. What I think the difference might be, and I'm saying might be because I think we will continue to learn and grow together as three individuals, but also as a incredible army of experts, is this. I think that most private equity is built upon equity capital as being the driving force. I think what we are looking at is balancing that with relationship capital. And the relationship capital, you just use the words. People can say those words, but it's in the proof is in how you do your work and who do you put first. And I think the relationship capital is what I want to bring to the best of my ability. I want to team up to make this a short-term, mid-term, and long-term, three different strategies based upon the businesses that we're in, some that we would like to sell, some that we'd like to develop over time, and some we'd like to keep forever. And I also see this as most private equity. I'm not all the big boys. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking the smaller ones where we play. They come in and out of the space very quickly. They get together, they do a deal, and they end. I would really like to see this, and and the partners, and all three of us would like to see this being more of a legacy thing. Maybe our families get involved, maybe our kids go and get involved, and that's why the relationship capital is so critical. And it can't just be about, let's call it equity or the dollar bill sign, and it needs to be a proper balance. That is my desire. That is my intent. That's our intent, and I promise you, that's what we're going to give it our best at going after this thing.
and it's real. I mean, when you think about time horizons and being able to be part of something for a very long time, have that trust given the relationship, that's a very real reason to getting deal flow and to doing the right deal. So that's super good.
And isn't that the best word? The word trust.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the word that I don't think we give enough value in society to, but it's what we want. And you can trust it when a deal is benefiting multiple parties. A deal makes everyone win. Can we
Hmm.
all win at the same speed? And that is what that's my intent, and to build this trust for with AEP and the community at large.
So peeling the onion just a little bit more, peeling back the onion a little bit more here. Is there any specific business that really interests you? Right? You had mentioned national business brokers. You had mentioned dealerships, repair shops. Is there? And these are all automotive or automotive adjacent. But is there something specific where you're saying, I think there's something here. This is where I would put extra focus.
Yeah, I think there's I'm going to give you three because there are the three I'm focused on in my head right now. One, I think the body shop business is a business that um, it's recession proof, it's AI proof. People get in accidents, and you got to get your car fixed, and it doesn't matter. And I believe that the OEM world and the dealer franchise model, only the best of the best really are doing a good job with their body shops, which means that customers aren't probably getting the best for their dollar. So I'm really interested in the body shop side of the business and how, listen to this, we could be independent running our own shops, and we could be a distributor or helper to dealerships. I mean, how awesome would that be to team up with groups of dealers in a community with a body shop model and processes that would benefit the community, where all dealers can win and the customers win? That's not utopia. It's actually what we're going to do. So I'm really interested in that. I'm really interested in the dealer buy sell business. I think that there is such a It's so difficult as we go further into the different OEMs, those who are stronger, those who are weaker, how to make deals. And oftentimes in a buy sell, you're having a lot of winner and loser. How about if you both win? Again, that's not utopia. It's happening. We will make that happen, and through our expertise and through some M&A and some even some new people that will keep joining us, we're going to keep growing this company. I really think we can make a difference in that space. And then third is kind of, let's call it the beyond space. The space that I'm probably really motivated by is things that are maybe not automotive, but again, they're economic or recession type proof and AI proof, that we want to grow into, and that'll be for some other time, because we are at the genesis of it now, but we are actively looking at growing our service business, because I really believe in providing jobs to people who will and technicians and experts, who there's just so much space for a long-term career. And what if we could be the one to provide that? That's what I want to see happen. So we'll be growing beyond the automotive space.
I think there's a lesson in there for how you said they courted you for this opportunity, and it seems like there was no hard sell here, right? It was like they
No.
planted the seed, and they were very clear about their intentions and their values, and that resonated with you. And I think everyone can learn from that because that's it works, and it's they did the right thing, so it's pretty exciting.
Yossi, I am going to tell you, I was fortunate to look at about 30 different options to go to work. And they were some of the greatest people and new friends that I call friends that I'm not. And they all had different kinds of beliefs and driven intentionality. But to meet up with AEP and these two men and where they're going, but it's not just the two men. I want to be clear. There is another wave of operating partners, 5 or 6 experts who I mean, I love every one of them already, and we're just starting. And there's something about that core team and building a team, which even like I call my family, Team Hollis. Everything's about team, and has all the makings of a world class championship team.
Love it, Sam. What you got?
I'm just fascinated because you go from COO of Toyota, one of the most revered OEMs on the face of planet Earth, with all the credibility, all the capital, all the relationship. And it is interesting to me the areas where you're focusing on, because from your vantage point, you could see, Aaron, I just sat side by side with Aaron. Aaron went and bought a power sports store because he said, hey, power sport hadn't at that point had the benefit of applying automotive to the power sport industry, and there was opportunity for an increase. I think you've identified some areas where you can bring an increase, and make body shop is a great example. Make an industry that much better as a result of it. I will be interested though, and maybe you have some comment on this relative to M&A. You've been a part of right of first refusal. You've been a part of putting deals together. Like your knowledge base on buy sell, from a Toyota vantage point, how will that inform your experience in the M&A
Oh,
space?
I think
Great
it's in.
question.
I think it's invaluable. I learned from some of the best in the business. 3 gentlemen: Ernest Bastian, Dennis Thornhill, and now Ben Pyle, who's the head of market representation at Toyota and Lexus. These 3 men taught me a lot, and I was able to walk with them for many years, the last 30 years or so, in the last 5 years, getting to basically approve each of these deals, and to be able to look at a deal, what it's like, what's important, what is a ROFR, and how does a ROFR work, and what's the importance of it, where does the dollars come in. I'm never going to claim to be the best. Those guys were the best, but I had great teammates around me, just like we do now. But I do understand the intricacies of it, and I think it's important to understand that there is good ways for both parties to win. And I
Yeah,
want to apply that at NBB, and grow that portion of the business, but I want to grow it again because of the relationships with the dealers. Of
yeah.
course, I'm going to call every dealer I know. Can I help you? And don't kid yourself. It's not like I'm just doing this for relational hugs. I mean, we want to make money, but we want to make money for everyone, doing it the right way. And that
Yeah.
to me is what winning is. And we will win by making sure people are winning all together.
Well, we're going to be excited to follow the trajectory of your career. Yossi implied it. That M&A space is so competitive. There's so many different players out in it that it'll be fascinating to watch as you make your mark in the industry. as the former CEO of Toyota, again, this much revered OEM. And we won't have you share strategy with us because we don't want that. But it would be interesting to talk to you behind the scenes after you put your first few deals together and see what's it like to be on the other side of that experience. Do you have any commentary on that? And we'll go to a few comments on social media.
I'll say this. I'm looking forward to the learning,
Yeah,
but I will tell you the one strategy I will give you. It's the same strategy that you would use everywhere you go. I used it at Toyota and I'll use it here, which is you surround yourself by the best people in the business
yeah,
who know the business and have the relationships, and you build a team. We will
yeah.
continue to add people to our entire organization. We're already working on a couple to bring them to our organization, and they will help us accelerate what we're doing. That's my strategy. Find the best people to put around this, and we'll lead it. We'll lead a team and make it make it happen.
I have one more question. I know you addressed this just a little bit on Yossi's podcast, but I'm just super curious. You had the opportunity to get into politics, and you chose not to do it. There were forces that were trying to pull you into that. What's up with that?
Now, what is up with that? I have no idea, silly people. Both the state of Texas and the federal government, there were some opportunities there. Looked
Yeah,
at them, learned about them. I'm not saying never. I think that might still be something down the road. I think I'm still interested in it again. Why? It's about
yeah,
serving people, and sometimes
yeah.
I think that government is sometimes too revered and sometimes not revered enough. They're
Ooh,
kind of on the polar opposites where they get too much credit and too little credit, and most of it is we've lost, in my mind, in my opinion, some of the idea of just serving your constituents, and I would love to do that. And if that means politics and it can help somebody, great. Whether it's Texas or California or federal or whatever,
federal. Yeah,
we'll see where that goes in the future. But I was super amazed at how many people reached out, and I was quite humbled by it. But I learned a ton when I was sitting in D.C. and sitting in Texas.
yeah. Well, Jack Hollis, former COO Toyota, now, and this is a CDG first interview post decision or announcement, managing partner of Accrual Equity Partners. Thanks for being on the show, sharing your perspectives, your path. We'll be excited to follow the trajectory of your new career this next half as we go down the months and years. Thank you, Jack.
Well, thank
Thanks,
you to
Jack.
both of you, Sam, Yossi. Thank you, and it's just always an honor. And Yossi, I just keep following you all the time.
My
Thanks for
man.
the work you all are doing. You guys are amazing.